it's a new start to the work week. It's the day after Labor Day. Had a guy call me Friday, and he's got 7 vehicles from the Copart in Apopka, Florida, going back to Daytona. It's about an hour each way, and he strips them and sends the parts overseas. So he wants me to get 2, so they can get to have something to work with. Go back and get 2, and then my last trip I'm going to pick up 3. So pretty busy day. I got an 8 a.m. appointment when they open. I got a noon appointment. I may bump that up a little bit, and I have a 3 p.m. appointment. So I've got to get loaded, make these turns quick, so I can get them all 7 today. Okay, we got it coming up. That's good. Get this thing strapped in before he pulls out and it rolls off. All right. That one kept rolling off. This one would have probably. One more. All right, let's get the rest strapped in. All right, this is car number 3 and number 4 today. It's got a little side damage. This Mazda. Driver's side rear tires got a little banged up, but it's 3 and 4. Take these Daytona, come back and get the last 3. So everything's good and secure and tight. That may flap, but I don't care. It ain't going nowhere. All right, let's get on down the road. All right. All right. Hang on. Ready? Okay. He's gonna wheel that down. I gotta go get the last 3. Woo! All right, these are the 3 I got: Ford Taurus, a BMW, and a Nissan Titan. It was raining when they loaded me. Then I had to strap them in the rain. So let's get unloaded and call it a day. Well, it's Wednesday morning, 2 days after Labor Day. Going up Jacksonville to get a couple cars and a Copart. And what a way to start the morning. Traffic. Heavy rain in Jacksonville. Man. Ugly start to the day. Boy, isn't that a nice vehicle I just picked up. The guys I pick it up for, they scrap vehicles and they send the parts overseas to Dubai. Can anyone tell me what's salvageable on that thing? Unless they think the engine's good in there, but look at that. What in the world, man? I don't even know if anybody survives in that. Usually they will have biohazard on the windows, a sticker if there's blood in there. But man, that's an Audi too. Might get something out underneath, tranny or parts of the engine. I think I looked at the paper, they only paid 500 bucks for that thing. So they'll probably make money on it by the engine or transmission. All right, to the next location. All right, it's Thursday, September 5th. Got this Toyota going to Jackson, Mississippi, and this BMW 2001 Roadster going to Newton, Alabama. 23 years old car, sat in the garage most time, 29,000 miles. Man, that thing is sweet, all original. So we got to go to Jacksonville, pick up an Audi at a dealership, and that's going to Jackson, Mississippi. That Toyota's going to Hattiesburg, the other one's going to Jackson. So let's get up the road so we can head west. Okay, we got them loaded. There's the Toyota. This is the Audi A4 and the little BMW Roadster. That's going to Newton, Alabama. That's going to Jackson, Mississippi, and that's going to Hattiesburg. I tell you, it's nice to have 3 decent cars that drive loaded and not that heavy for the trip. About an 8-hour run, so instead of old copart and IAA vehicles, they got to be forklift on and off. It's a nice change of pace. You see the weather's getting nasty. It's supposed to hit a lot going out west on I-10, so safe travels to me. Man, I just did get those loaded and strapped in time. Look at the rain. 4.5 hours to the first drop off, get me there 5:30 p.m. local time. I'll gain an hour once I get past Tallahassee, so hopefully this ain't the whole trip, pouring rain. Crossing the Apalachicola River, and right up here in the middle of the bridge is the Central Time Zone. I am 79 miles from first vehicle coming off in Alabama. I should arrive there at 5:35 local time. There's the river and there's the time zone. Just left Alabama or Florida and arriving in Alabama. I am up here on Highway 231 heading towards Dothan. So I've got 29 miles to the first drop-off. Sweet home, Alabama. Spent the night at the Bucees in Orange Beach, Alabama, right here off of I-10. It is, I got up at 4, it is 4:25 now.
2 miles, turn left to I-10 west.
Heading to Jackson, Mississippi. That dealership I saw opens at 7:30 a.m. They're according to their website. I hope that's the case. So I should be there probably about 7:45.
Turn left to I-10 west.
Everything goes right. We don't have a ton of rain. It's already starting off a little rainy this morning. I shut the truck off last night and cracked the windows, and about 1:30 it got hot, so I had to start the truck and turn the AC on. But we're gonna try and get as many miles as we can, as early as we can, so we can get this vehicle unloaded, then back down to Hattiesburg. I wanted to do the furthest one first, since it got an early opening hour. All right, we'll get you back when the sun comes up. Here's that tunnel in Mobile. Partially goes underwater. I hate coming in here. But anyways, back there, that Bucees diesel, I was pleasantly surprised. It was only $2.99 a gallon. I got fuel at Bucees in St. Augustine, Florida yesterday, and it was $3.29. So it's a nice little surprise to see something under $3 for once. But Well, not a good way to start. I spent the night at the Bucees, went about 10 miles to get off my exit off I-10 to take this other interstate heading up to Mississippi. Came to the off-ramp to the stop red light and looked back and my brake was on fire. Got out with the extinguisher, put it out, and luckily right catty corner was a shopping mall. So I pulled around the back here, pulled the tires off, the hub and the bearings burnt to hell. Brake is fried. 7:30, about an hour from now, there's a trailer parts store about 10 miles from here. So I am going to call them and see if they got it. Brakes, I'm just going to take the brakes off and not have a brake, but I've got to get some bearings. Look at that. The bolt and the cotter pin, everything is still on intact. So I'm going to have to take this off, clean that up, put some new bearings on it. If not, I'm just going to have to drop these last two off with the two tires off and run it like this, even though I don't want to, and that's asking for trouble. But get the cars off, I can get the weight off, and if I have to drive back to Florida deadhead, so be it. But we're going to see about when the parts store opens. I get a set of bearings. I gotta pull that rest of that assembly off and change the seal. But now that I think about it, everybody says oil bath is not good, you know, grease is the way to go. That was an experiment. That one was grease. The oil bath, the other three are oil bath still, and they are all still fine. This was the grease. Because of these 10K axles, you do not have a grease fitting. This hole is not a grease fitting. It just goes in a hair and stops. So you have to hand pack it with grease. And there's the result. Oil bath. About once a week, I'll open the caps up, check the level, put some new oil in there, hub oil, and good to go. But this was a grease one, and now I'm convinced grease is not the way to go. Now if you have a seal that's leaking real bad, grease will fill up with grease. Grease will get you where you got to go or get you home without leaking oil. But that was a grease experiment, and it failed. So and it's been raining, so now that it's cooled off, I'm gonna go ahead and clean that hub off, see if I can pull the cotter pin, the bolt, and hopefully all them parts or seals or whatever will slide right off, and I ain't got a hammer and chisel to get them off. We'll keep you posted. We'll drop the trailer behind the mall there, and over here in Theodore there's a trailer shop down there, and they've got the bearings that I need and everything. So I might go ahead and get the bearings, the brake, and probably I got the gear oil, but I'll probably get some more. And I brought my hub with me. Hopefully he can check it out and make sure I don't have any bearing or race or anything stuck inside there that I can't tell because of all the grease. So hopefully we get these parts, get them back assembled, and get back on the road. I should have already been up there in Jackson, dropped that first one off. Hell, I'm still 3 hours away from there, and I ain't even started the trip. So we'll keep you posted as the day goes on. What a way to start a Friday. 500 miles from home and burn up bearing. Well, I found a trailer parts store, took the hub back in there, and they were able to get the old the races out, put a new one in with the bearing, the seal, and I got to put the front bearing and then the lock the washer and the lock nuts on it, and had to go to 2 Tractor Supplies over here before I found one that had hub oil. Lucas hub oil is the best thing for these things. So to remove the oh, and I got a new brake because my other one was burnt up. So the brake and then the bearing set and them taking out the old race and putting in the new ones came $264, which isn't bad because usually it's like $180 just for the brake alone in my area. And a bearing set's usually runs about $100, so can't complain. I'm heading back to the trailer now. I got about 10 more miles, and let's get this thing together, slap it full of oil. I'm not doing that grease thing anymore. Slap full of oil and get these cars off so I can turn around and head back to Florida. 11:30 a.m. I am back on the road. So I broke down at 4:30, had to wait till 8 for a place to open to make the call. Drove 20 miles. They took the old races out, put the new ones in, and the main bearing, the big bearing, and then I came back, put it, assembled the brake and everything back together. So it's 11:30, so this was a 7-hour shutdown. So instead of getting to my first one at 7:30 a.m., I will get there at 2:30 p.m. Oh my God. But yeah, well, that convinced me, don't use grease in these. Use the hub oil. Then I had to go, like I said, I had to go to 2 Tractor Supplies to find the right one, hub oil, Lucas hub oil. So we got 183 miles in. I think it's mostly these back roads, so we will catch you at the first drop off. We are crossing into the state of Mississippi. Got a wreck in the rain here. Somebody got rear-ended from hell. Well, anyways, I dropped off the one vehicle up in Jackson, and guy told me they'll have a comm check for me because they wanted to pay ACH, and I don't do them. So I got there and I said, "You got a check?" He said, "No." Well, anyways, I called the guy, and they're issuing a comm data check. So he just sent me the code. So I just got to go to a truck stop, give them the code, and they'll go ahead and pay me. But I got about 26 miles to drop off this last car in Hattiesburg, and probably heading home. It's 4:15 on a Friday up here. I called a couple hours ago about a load going back, F-350 going back to Orlando from Alabama, and the guy on Central said had a phone number or a text, preferred text. So I texted him, no answer, called, no answer, left a voicemail. An hour later I called back, and the guy said he just assigned it. I said, "Dude, I called a damn hour ago." He said, "Well, he had it before, he's just waiting on the add a certificate holder." So I said, "Well, if it falls through, let me know and I'll pick it up." But nothing, and everything else is scattered all around. And by this time of day, be lucky to catch anything before they close for the weekend. So back at the Bucees in Alabama. So I filled up here last night. So I went from here to Jackson,
Turn
Mississippi.
left to County Road 68.
Jackson, Mississippi, down to Hattiesburg, back over to here again on a tank. And now I'm heading home. Got about about a 6.5 hour ride.
In 0.2 miles at the end of the road, turn left to
We
Baldwin
closed
Beach Express.
460 miles home and 484 in the fuel tank. So let's get on back. Head home. It's Saturday. I got home early this morning from Mississippi. Went to Mannheim and Daytona and picked up this Nissan Rogue and this Dodge Caravan or whatever it is. Delivering it here in Ocoee, Mannheim. I'm gonna drop these two off and call it a week. Oh, exhausted. All right, we'll catch you in a little bit.